Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of What Does It Take to Get the Right Shot? My name is Simone. I'm a professional sport and nature and landscape photographer, and today we are going to talk about the ISO. What is the ISO and how does it work in photography? The ISO is the sensibility of the light. What does it mean? Well, it means that when we put the information in the camera, we have to tell the camera what kind of light we do have. What am I talking about? Well, first of all, we are talking about numbers. Usually ISO goes in a range from 100 to 3200, even 6400, and now with the new technology, new cameras, even higher number. The lower number we put in, the more light we have in nature and the less help we do need from the ISO. The higher number, the darker is where we are taking the picture. Now let me try to explain you a little bit better. I'm outdoor, it's sunny, so because I have light and we said that the image, it's about my picture, it's about the light. If I have the light, well, I'm gonna tell the camera, okay, I need a low ISO, which means I have the light. If I put a higher ISO number, it means that I have less light. And what the camera does. So why am I telling the camera high or low number? Well, we do have a sensor here in every camera. And when you work in automatic, the sensor will read the kind of light we have and will match the settings, try to get the best picture that it can get with the three settings putting together. When we work in manual, we have to put these settings together. Now, when I say settings, I'm talking about ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. Now, the aperture, we said that it's all about the lens and the hole that I have in the lens, which allow that quantity of light through the lens. The shutter speed, we said that it's about the subject. Depending if we have a subject that is moving or not, our shutter will open and close faster or slower. Now, when we talk about shutter opening faster and slower, we all know that the slower, the more light is coming through, the faster, the less light. When we put all this together, then we have left out the ISO. Now, when we take a picture, we need to consider what kind of light we have, how much light we are gonna get through the lens, and for how long the shutter. Putting all this together, we have our image. We have our image darker or lighter, brighter. What is the thing that makes that different? Well, let's start and let's talk about the ISO. The ISO is the sensibility of the light. Lower number, I already have light. Higher number, I have more light. I will need higher number, I will need more light because I don't have it through my eyes and through the camera. Now, we said that the shutter speed, it's about the subject, it's about the shutter. Aperture, it's about the lens. So ISO, it's about the camera. I have two cameras here. One is the 1DX Mark II, one is the 7D Mark I. Why do I have two cameras here? Because I wanted to prove you, taking exactly the same pictures to my model, which is the Mr. Potato here, that what a camera can improve going forward, it's about the ISO. It's not about the aperture because it's about the lens, and it's not about the shutter because it's about the subject. So when we buy cameras that will cost more and more, it's because the technology inside improved in the ISO. What does it mean? How the camera will help me to get a picture brighter when I don't have light. High in the ISO, we just said. How? Let me give you this sample. If I get a black board and I put it right in front of you, you will see black. If I get a silver gray marker and I will put a lot of dots, I will draw a lot of dots on it, and I will show you the same board, the more gray dots I will draw, the brighter you will see your blackboard. What does it mean? That you won't see it black anymore. You will see it darker gray, lighter gray. The more dots I will put, the brighter you will see that board. Now, translate that in photography. The camera, the ISO, will put what I call artificial light, which in photography has called noise. The noise, it's the pixels, are the pixels that you see in the picture. So the higher number of ISO that I will put in the camera, the more noise I will have in my final result, in my picture. Why? Because if it's too dark and I still want to take a picture, I will have to put that high number of ISO, which means the only way to see brighter something that is dark, it's to add brighter pixels, noise in the picture. Noise is not good in photography, because when you blow a picture bigger, you will see those pixels. You don't want to see the pixels. So the question is, well, then if I have the noise and I don't want the noise, I will never use those high ISO numbers. Well, sometimes you have to, because, and this is what I want to prove to you, I can take this picture with the 7D Mark I and I will use the same setting compared to the 1DX Mark II. Now, the settings is 1250 ISO, 200 shutter speed, 2.8. All right? I have the same lens, I have different camera, but I will have the same settings. And I'm gonna take the picture with one, and you will see the picture coming through while you will see the final result coming through. But taking the same picture, you will see a big difference. One, it's more crisp than the other. Why? Because one has been released 7-10 years ago, and the other one, it's brand new. Now technology, nothing is brand new. Everything gets improved every day. But what I mean is they improve the technology inside to get less noise with high number in the ISO. So in my new camera, I can actually go way higher than 3200 or 6400, even 100,000 ISO. Now, I don't want to get that far, but it's just to give you an idea, looking at the pictures, compare the pictures, how noisy it's one picture compared to the other, even if the settings are the same. One it's more crisp, the other is less. In one you see more noise, in the other one less. So noise is not good, but sometimes we have to. What do I mean we have to? Well, this subject is not moving, and not moving, I can keep my shutter speed low. Now, shutter speed and ISO, they work together. When I hide one, I usually hide the other one to get the same result. And the aperture goes the opposite. So if I hide the first two, I will load the third one. If I hide the third one, I will load the other two. Now, if the subject is not moving, I can keep my shutter open a little bit longer, and the longer it stays, the more light is coming through. If I have the light from the shutter speed, I don't need a higher ISO, because I don't need that much help from the ISO to get the same result, to get the same brightness in the picture. But if my subject is moving, like in a sport event, I already know that my shutter speed will be way higher than my Mr. Potato that is not moving. Keeping my shutter speed higher, it means that it's quicker. Quicker, it means that less light will come in through. If less light will come in through the shutter, I will need more light through the lens, but at some point, I cannot get more than, for example, 2.8, which are my lenses right now. So if I already know that not that much will come in through the lens, the only way to brighten up my picture is to hide the ISO. Let me put a higher number. Let me tell the camera that I don't have light enough, and the camera through the ISO will put what I call artificial light pixels in the pictures. But we said that is not good. And that's where you will have to make a commitment and buy a better performant camera, which allowed you to have less noise even with higher ISO numbers. So the ISO is the sensibility of the light. The higher number, it means that I have less light. It means that I'm asking the ISO help. The camera, which is the ISO, it's gonna help me, giving me pixels, the famous gray spots in the black board. The higher ISO, the more pixels I will have. Pixels are not good overall when you blow a picture in a bigger screen or you blow it and you want to print something bigger. The only way to avoid it is to play with the other settings when you can. When you cannot, you will have to see the pixels or to see the noise, or try to buy a better equipment, more performant equipment that allows you to work at 7 p.m. when you have your subject that is moving quickly. Now, let me just recap ISO. When can I load the ISO? Well, if the Mr. Potato here is not moving and the sample that I'm showing you, it's a 1250 ISO, 200 shutter speed, 2.8 aperture. So I already have the maximum from the ISO, from the aperture. Can I load the shutter speed? Because we said that if I load the shutter speed, I allow more light. If I allow more light, I can lower my ISO and have less noise. Yes, I can. If I can use a tripod, then I can lower it substantially. I can lower it a lot. I can go even 2 seconds. A long exposure. 2 seconds, it means that a lot of information will go through. I will get the same result, but my ISO from 1250 will drop to probably 400, even 200. Is it good? Yeah, it's even better. It's even better because at 200 ISO, I want to have noise. At 1250, as you saw the samples that I took and I got through, now you have the noise. Now, I can do that if the subject is not moving and using the tripod going to a long exposure. If my subject is moving, I cannot go long exposure. So a well-performant camera will work better in sport events, in nature, if you have a tiger or a bald eagle that is flying. ISO, sensibility of the light. Lower number, less help from the camera. Higher number, more help from the camera. This is the ISO. And this is how it works. I hope it's been clear. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. I thank you so much for being part of this video. I wish you a wonderful day and I see you for my new adventure.